up, Sauce Gang, and welcome back to the channel. Hot Sauce Beats here with a dope reaction for you. Happy Sunday. I hope your guys' day is starting off right, and we are kicking it off right because Matt Pat over at Game Theory just dropped a brand new video, The Monster in the Shadows, Poppy Playtime Chapter 2. Now, I have not played Poppy Playtime, however, my bro Tato Chip, Nate Allen, has played it. He has a couple videos on his channel playing it, and he's also played Chapter 2, and it's pretty spoopy, chat. So if you want to see some really dope gameplay, go over to Nate Allen's channel and check him out. But other than that, again, I have not played it. I've just watched his videos of him playing it. But I am super stoked to this, to see kind of some of the lore behind it and see what Matt Pat thinks. But before we jump into it, show Matt Pat some love by subscribing to his channel. And if you enjoy my reaction, please help support the channel by smashing that subscribe and like button. It's absolutely free and it greatly helps out the channel. But enough talking. Let's get to reacting and roll that bomb ass intro.
Hot Sauce Beats is finally here. Hot Sauce Beats is finally here. Eat, sleep, make beats. Eat, sleep, make beats.
Hot Sauce Beats. Woo, woo. Oh, let's go. Play.
It's been so long. So good to see you
He's starting off
again.
spoopy.
Well, not good, really. Don't say anything.
You hear
Mommy
Matt?
knows. You thought you could just walk right in here, didn't you? As if nothing ever happened. What a joke. Well, they're
why is she so
all
mad?
dead. All
Why
of
you
them.
mad, bruh?
And you did that. Try to live knowing that for whatever brief time you
Oh, Matt!
still
Let's save you! Matt!
But hey, that's just a theory, right? A theory.
Oh, that's creepy.
A
That's
theory.
creepy.
A theory.
A game theory. Let's go!
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory, the show that's been popular for 11
sir.
years but still hasn't landed a movie
Over a
deal.
decade.
Don't know why I felt like mentioning it here. On a completely unrelated note, a few weeks ago we finally saw the release of Poppy Playtime Chapter 2, Fly in a Web. And this thing was longer than a tech demo, so hey, big wins over Part 1. But no, the team wasn't content to stop there. Poppy Playtime's newest chapter went above and beyond, requiring players to master not just one, but two different gameplay styles.
Two, huh?
Whack-a-mole and Simon Says.
Blue, yellow, we're violet. Ah! Every game is required to have a Simon Says segment for some reason.
I'm of course being facetious about the whole thing. This new chapter actually offered a lot of awesome stuff. Cool puzzles, thrilling chases, and an oversized plush toy failing to pull a lever.
That is so. I'm sorry, chat. That is so creepy. Like, nightmares are made out of cute, creepy things. I mean, Pennywise the clown was a clown. I guess not really cute though, and definitely really creepy. And I literally hate clowns in real life. Like in my real life, I hate clowns because of Pennywise, and now I hate big purple stuffed animals with big eyes and big red lips. Let's
Animation
get back
is
into
so
it.
adorable. I could sit here and watch that all day. Oh, and there are
Adorable.
also collectible trophies now. Really challenging
Mommy long
collectible
legs.
trophies that'll push you to the limits of your gamer senses.
Any secret trophies or anything that we see up here?
Any secret trophies? Secret trophies?
Looked right at.
But we all know why we're really here. It's not for the gameplay innovation or
Hey, does anybody see? Hey, does anybody see a secret trophy around here? Going once, going twice for secret trophies. Three. No. Oh, okay. Next
the
room.
collectibles. It's for the hidden notes and cryptic clues. Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves some lore to decipher. And spoiler alert,
Let's go.
Poppy isn't who we thought she was. First, here's what you need to know to understand
is a
today's
creepy
theory.
doll.
Poppy Playtime Chapter 1 focused on us, the player, returning to an abandoned toy factory in order to save some employees that went missing there 10 years ago. We're told via a mysterious note that we have to find the flower. Several puzzles and one giant Muppet chase
Poppy
later,
flower.
we find the flower in the form of a giant wall mural of a poppy. Inside is a replica of a house and a doll named Poppy Playtime, locked away inside
No. Ah. Woosa. All right, chat. If you've watched my channel, you know I hate dolls. And all this looks like is Annabelle. 100% Annabelle. I'm sorry. No, I would not go within a football field lengths. Actually, no, I wouldn't even go in the city. the city, the country. I want to get off this earth because of these dolls.
A glass case. And of course, we set her free without a second thought because players in video games have never seen a horror movie before. Anyway, chapter 2 picks up immediately afterward. Poppy agrees to help us activate a train that'll help us get out of the factory. So much for wanting to help save those missing employees, but hey, if a creepy talking doll starts offering me ways to not be around the creepy talking doll, I'm gonna take that offer. But of course, things are never quite that easy. Mommy Longlegs, a giant stretchy toy spider, takes Poppy hostage and forces us to play 3 minigames in her game station in order to unlock each part of the train.
And it's a trap. It's always a trap. It's never not a trap. It's always a trap.
Code. Eventually, we break out of our games, which causes her to go complete sicko mode and chase us through a narrow escape sequence. Where have I seen something like that before? In the end, she gets caught in a grinder and her remains are dragged away by a mysterious claw. We rescue Poppy, get on the train, but surprise, surprise, she betrays us, crashing the train and forcing us even deeper into the factory. So those are the highlights from the chapter, but we're still left with a lot of overarching questions. Who are we?
Dang you. You dirty old doll, Poppy. Dang you.
Where are these missing employees we're so concerned about? What's the true nature of the toys? And who's secretly pulling the strings behind all of this? Well, I think I have the answers to each and every one of those questions. And the last one is probably the best place to start. As I just talked about, after defeating Mommy, we see her remains get dragged away by...
That's creepy, chat. Like, that is very... That's on a whole nother level of spoopy. Like, that's super spoopy. There's little spoopy, medium spoopy, and super spoopy, and that's super spoopy.
Mysterious claw. No, not Burn Trap's claw, but also, yeah,
I'm okay.
Burn Trap's claw. You see, the hand we see pull Mommy away is very different from all the other designs that we've encountered in the game so far. Most of the toys that we fight are brightly colored, made of plastic or fur, and, you know, look like actual toys. This thing, though, is dark, mechanical, and could poke your eye out, like an erector set on steroids. And that's not all.
I forgot about erector set. That was a pretty bomb thing when you were a kid if you had it.
If you zoom in and enhance the image of the claw, you can actually make out that there's organic material mixed in there. Bones and maybe even some veins mixed in with the metallic parts. So yeah, the comparison to Spring Trap, Burn Trap, call them whatever you want, it isn't that much of a joke. But what is this biomechanic hybrid doing within the context of Poppy? Well, back in Chapter 1, we discovered the final VHS tape which cataloged the results of Experiment 1006, nicknamed the Prototype.
Final log. In relation, Experiment 1006.
I really need to play this game, chat. I really need to play the first game.
Cooperation is evidently within his skill set, as well as the skill set of all other experiments of his type.
This, along with a death screen that said Experiment 1006 isn't he wonderful, led us to believe in a previous theory that our big blue boy Huggy Wuggy was the prototype, since, you know, he was kind of the only character that we met in Chapter 1, Occam's razor and all that. However, take a look at the hand on the TV screen that we see during that VHS recording. Look familiar? We see that hand appear again in yet another VHS tape in Chapter 2.
Log code 08502 in relation, Experiment 1006, the prototype. The prototype seems to possess an unprecedented level of intelligence, beyond that of all other test subjects, as well as an alarming willingness to commit violence. Experiment 1170, Huggy Wuggy, remains the optimal outcome due to his sufficient intelligence paired with maximum obedience.
Obviously, this outright tells us that Huggy isn't Experiment 1006, and that it's instead the owner of this mysterious claw. So that's what the prototype is, but what makes it so special? Well, during that same VHS tape, we also hear how the prototype takes apart an alarm clock and uses it to make a laser pointer. In short, it's smart and it's able to repurpose things, which would explain Mommy's concern in this moment.
What have you done? He'll make me part of him!
He'll make me part of him. So does that mean it's gonna have like these crazy stretchy arms now and the claw's gonna be even more longer and creepier and creepy? And spoopy?
Gonna be reused and repurposed by this entity in order to help the monster escape. Kinda makes you wonder if the veins and bones were how this creature was originally designed, or maybe that's what happened to all the other missing employees. Their bodies were added to the
I bet that's what the bones are and stuff.
Gene. It's interesting. In our last theory, we predicted that Mommy Longlegs would be
really
adding the
creepy,
bodies
Chad.
of dead toys to herself in order to become stronger. We were right about the concept, just looks like we were wrong about who it applied to. As for how this thing is gonna wind up looking, anyone remember Sid from Toy Story 1? Sounds like we might have found one of his creations. So right now it looks like the prototype 1006 is gonna be our overarching villain for the franchise, taking pieces and parts of the other toys, and maybe even pieces and parts of other people to grow
100%.
stronger. That being said, one toy that doesn't appear to have been added to the prototype yet is Huggy Wuggy. He may not have appeared explicitly in this chapter, but hints of him are hidden around. When you go into the chapter's water treatment room, if you look carefully, you can see some blue fur that's scattered around the pipes alongside trails of blood. This appears to be the room that Huggy fell through at the end of the last chapter, and would seem to imply that Huggy picked himself up and went full-on sus mode by venting away, waiting
Like Die Hard. Like Die Hard. Literally. They said, oh God, what is it? Come to LA for Christmas. We'll have a few laughs. We'll have a good. As he's lighting the
to
Zippo
return
lighter.
until a future chapter, which honestly makes sense. He can't die yet. He's basically the mascot of the
John
franchise.
McClane's name.
Who even cares about Poppy at this point? I mean, me.
I don't.
I do because lore, but I feel like I'm definitely in the
dolls.
minority on that one. Speaking of Poppy, let's talk about her, shall we? I mean, it is her name on the title screen after all. This isn't Kissy Missy Playtime or Cat Bee Playtime, you know? Well, mere hours after Chapter 2 came out, the fan community did what the fan community gonna do. They dug into the game files, and by doing so, they discovered an early build of this chapter hidden away. And while the game itself is still basically the same, the end is where things get real interesting. Normally, you get on the train and Poppy gives you this sinister speech about how you're not allowed to leave. She betrays us and sends us hurtling deeper into the factory for reasons that are kept pretty darn vague.
Terrible things have happened, but I know that whatever I need you to do, you're capable.
However, in the cut version of this monologue, we actually get a bit more detail on her motivations.
Okay.
You have so much potential. I know you came to find the ones who had disappeared all those years ago, but they're gone. They've been gone for a long time.
They're part of the experiment
Terrible
100.
things have happened, and I am the cause. Being able to exist as a doll, it has killed so many people.
Now, interpreting cut content is always going to be a
Hold
tricky
on.
science. Do you use it? Do you not? How do you use it? Here, I'm only pointing it out because this seems to confirm one of our original theories, that
Poppy's
Poppy
evil?
is the reason all of this is happening. She literally says that because she was able to exist as a doll, people died, which tells us two things. One, that she
It tells me one thing: leave dolls alone. We literally need to find an island, send all the dolls there, every single one of them. I don't care. Done. Every single freaking doll. Forever.
She's been around since the very beginning. She knows about the experimentation that's being done on humans. She's witnessed it all.
I was the first. I have seen everything.
Yes, FNAF, we hear you. You're very special. You did it first. Secondly, though, it
Outta
seems
here,
to tell us
FNAF.
that Poppy isn't who we originally thought. Loyal theorists will remember that last time we predicted
She's
that
Annabelle,
former
right?
employee Stella Graber was the person whose body and spirit were used to build Poppy. In Chapter 1, we found a VHS tape talking about her desire to stay young and her love of children, which all but seemed to scream, "Make me into an undying doll monster." However, after the clues seeded out in this chapter, we know for a fact that she's no longer a candidate. When we first enter the game station,
Really?
we're greeted by Stella's voice.
Hi kids, welcome to the game station. I'm Stella, and we've got 3 super duper fun games to play.
Her name also appears on the bottom of a document outlining how to test children using the various game station modules. Quote, give all reports to Ms. Stella Graber to sort through. So Stella was clearly involved with whatever experimentation was going on at Playtime Co. And since these experiments were started because the living doll Poppy existed in the first place, Stella can't be Poppy. In that
Okay,
same
that makes
document, we
sense.
also see references to Mommy Longlegs. Now, if you look closely at the Mommy Longlegs commercial that plays at the top of the chapter, you can see that it's dated 1991. Poppy was meant to be the first living toy developed back in 1950. Therefore, if Stella was alive around the time of Mommy Longlegs, then she couldn't possibly be inside Poppy. So if Poppy isn't Stella, then
This is why these videos are so good, chat. There's just so much stuff. Unless if you're, yourself diving deep in the lore and searching for this, searching for that. There's so much stuff that we don't know, that Matt Pat and his team does such a great job at dissecting and finding, investigating. It's basically like a real life Where's Waldo Inspector Gadget? Waldo Gadget? Where's Gadget? I don't know.
Who
Anyways.
is she? Well, early in Chapter 2, we
Inspector
visit
Waldo?
Elliot Ludwig's office, founder of Playtime Co. It's here that we learn that he experienced a tragic family loss sometime in the 1960s.
In the 1960s, an unfortunate family death had pushed Ludwig down to his lowest.
This loss is what spurred him to work harder and build an empire around his toys. Now, it's not actually clear who this family
Poppy
member
his
was.
daughter?
You would suspect his kid, right? Kid dies or is dying and he finds a way to make her into a living toy. Yeah, I am broken. I will put you back together. Thank you, FNAF. Go and do something else with your life. Make your lore more sensible. Stop trying to butt into other people's narratives, okay? Other people's very similar narratives. Anyway, as I was saying, you would
Hello there.
suspect that he's doing this for his kid, right? And that's who Poppy is. It's his daughter. But there's a wrinkle to that, and it's not coming from the game, but rather the game's website. You see, we know via a newspaper article hidden on the About section of Playtime Company's merch website that Elliot's wife divorced him in 1930. This means that if a child came from that relationship, that biological son or daughter would have been in their 20s or 30s when Poppy was created. It seems a bit old, to be honest. The loss could have been a grandchild. That's definitely a possibility. But for me, I think the most likely...
Or the child died a long time ago, and a decade later, he found the technology to bring his daughter back. So I think there's kind of a hole in the theory, because yeah, it doesn't have to 100% match up if it happened before. Now, if the daughter was born afterwards, then yes, then it couldn't happen. But if the daughter was born before, 100% that would work.
Adoption was that it was an adopted daughter. In Chapter 1, we see a lot of posters hanging on the walls talking about Playtime Co.'s adoption initiative. What if that program was initially started because Elliot had an adopted child himself, and he wanted to bring that joy to other families, thereby modeling it in those Playtime Company values. And then, when his daughter dies or is suffering, he, has to find a way to put her back together. So, his adopted child dies tragically, and he tries something to revive her, probably by fusing her with Poppy. And it works. Something he does works. She's in the doll, but he's not exactly sure what he did. Might I suggest trying Remnant or Agony? Sorry, now I'm just going out of my way to do it. Anyway, we know that he's unsure based on a note that we find in Elliot's office in Chapter 2. This note talks about Experiment 814, in which they try to bring rats back to life using the poppy flower. My suspicion is that this is because he was somehow able to revive his daughter inside of Poppy, a doll who we're told has the essence of poppy flower built into her hair. This is also why we find Poppy hidden in a glass case. It's so his daughter can be preserved, protected, and also studied. It's because he saw it was possible, and then he went on to repeat it, which is why he's so happy about his wonderful experiment 1006, the prototype. After nearly 200 additional experiments post poppy flowers and rats, this is where he finally cracks the code. He's brought things to life, but the prototype is too smart. It escapes and doesn't obey orders, sending the factory into chaos. This is why we hear that
Everybody's dead.
Wuggy is actually the perfect creation, because he's smart, but he's also obedient.
Experiment 1170, Huggy Wuggy, remains the optimal outcome due to his sufficient intelligence paired with maximum obedience.
And that, my friends, is the story of how everything started at Playtime Co. We now know that Elliot Ludwig's adopted daughter is likely the entity inside the Poppy doll, and that our overarching villain for the series is the prototype, the first successful recreation of that technology, of bringing something back to life, a toy that steals and uses the pieces and parts of other things to make itself stronger. But there's still lots more to discover here. Who or what is inside the other toys? Are they employees or are they something else? What about the mysterious death screens that we see each time we die? What are they trying to tell us? If people are inside of toys, then what about the prototype? Is it someone important, or is it just a random collection of people? And probably the biggest question of all, who are we in relation to all of this? I suspect that I may have figured out our character's name and possible role in the company, but answers to that and more will have to wait for next time, just because I have a few other things that I want to double check inside the game first. So make sure you grab pack that subscribe button to guarantee that you see our second part of Chapter 2's coverage when it comes out here in a week or two. And until then, remember, it's all
Just a theory.
a game theory. Thanks for watching.
Let's go! Oh, that's spoopy. That is spoopy. All right, chat. Let me. How long ago did this one come out? Did I miss this one? When did this come out, chat? March. Oh, so yeah, a couple months ago. Okay. Let me bring it in. Okay. So, I actually think he got this theory nail on the head, perfect. However, au contraire, mon frère, I do think it is his daughter. I think just because his daughter was born in 10 or whatever, and then, or 30s, and then Poppy was created in the 50s, that doesn't mean anything. Poppy could have died any time, and then just like he perfected the technology for the prototype later on. I mean, yeah, he could have been trying to find how to extract the soul and the brain, you know, and all this stuff. So I think it is his daughter. I don't think it's an adoption, and I could be wrong, because again, this is all in theory. We're all wrong, and some are right. We just don't know, and maybe we'll never know. But yeah, this was really good. I enjoyed this, and this game is super spoopy. I think we might need to play it. I think we might need to play it, chat. I think we might need to play it. Anyways, I love this. Again, I think Matt Pat did a really good job at hitting this theory on the head. And chapter 3 of this game, chat, I think is going to be really, really spooky. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with Huggy Wuggy. Because Huggy's hiding in the vents still, bloodied up and probably really mad and gonna try and get us. And Poppy, that little evil doll, needs to go to an island away from everybody. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you subscribe to Matt Pat first, and if you enjoyed this reaction, please help support the channel by smashing that subscribe and like button. It's absolutely free and it greatly helps out the channel. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and remember, it's eat, sleep, and make beats, and as usual, be kind to one another. And that's all I got. Boom, I'm out. Gonna love, it's all good. Peace, I love you guys. Woo, woo, woo.